Now, moving ahead now, the late Kudirat Abiola, assassinated on June 4, 1996, during the regime of late General Sani Abacha, was one of the wives of Chief M.K. Abiola, the acclaimed winner of the June 12, 1993 election.
But her marriage to him is not the only reason for which she is remembered. She is recognized nationwide as a heroine of democracy, one who fought side by side with Abiola and paid the ultimate price for the struggle. Today makes it exactly 23 years she was assassinated. Still, her name and memory lingers. 23 years after her death, there is a dearth of female leaders in the country. Of the 109 senators that make up the Senate, only 7 women will be part of the ninth National Assembly. In like manner, the number of females elected into the Ninth Assembly of Representatives has also been a significant decline. Why is this so?
It's a big question there.
Huge question. Yeah. Well, joining me now is Kudirat Abiola's son, AbdulMumuni Jubril. Happy Eid al-Fitr. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Happy Eid al-Fitr to you.
All right. Now, let's start this week. 23 years after your mother's death. What are your fondest memories of her during the struggle? Before and during the struggle?
Before, my mom was, she was really kind. She was a really nice woman. She had like a gentle soul. Because I know that, I was very stubborn.
Oh.
I was very stubborn when I was growing up. And it seemed like the only thing I could do was get into trouble. Yeah, so she was strict because she obviously wanted the best for me. And
So when you
kinda,
look back now, you can thank her for those
Yeah, I definitely can, because she actually wanted us to understand, even though we grew up in such a wild time, especially in the house, in the Keja house, that not everybody was that well off, and you shouldn't always look at yourself as special or privileged. So when the whole thing happened with the whole situation afterwards, it just seemed to me that, okay, well, maybe this is what Mom was trying to get across back then. So it was, yeah, I think even though I lost her when I was real young, I still have her with me, and I think what she was trying to teach me then, I was able to adapt it, just have her voice in my head.
All right. I can see that some emotion, your voice is emotion-laden. But then, what would you think, despite the fact that she saw that her life was in danger, she was still pushing to ensure that that which your father wanted to do or achieve while he was in prison, she was still championing his cause, so to speak?
Well, I think she... For me, I wouldn't say I understood what she was trying to do, because I was really young. Like I said, all I just knew was that when I got back from school, she wasn't home. I used to wonder where she used to always be, and sometimes they would have arrested her, like incarcerated her for like a couple of days. So it was surprising. Well, for me, I think she also felt that she had to also make a stand, even just not for, as in, I think back then women were not necessarily outspoken to that point, especially not challenging a person with a gun, or a general.
Now, I'll take it up from that point. Women were not generally outspoken at the time, but when you compare what she did then and now, would you say there is some sort of an improvement when it comes to women coming out to defend democracy, speak out for their rights, and also stand for their rights?
Yeah, I definitely do believe so. I believe so. I believe that the times are different. There are different ways of coming together, like grouping, creating movements. I definitely think that, like you were saying, I just think that, we only look at the people who are heading. I think, and that's just a typical thing in Nigeria, where they'll say, "Oh, who's the head of the company?" And nobody looks at, the different cogs that make up the company. So I know that for the elections, like I'm sure you know that, it's almost all our elections.
Yeah, came up,
but
later dropped along the line.
They did, but I think what we shouldn't look at the women that came out. Think about the women who participated. Like I think most of our elections, you find that women are the majority in like putting these men into office.
Of course.
So, you know, their voices are definitely going to have to be heard by, you know, so these men. So sometimes I always look at, you know, gender roles, not necessarily saying that, oh, if you're not at the top of the table, then you're not even on the table at all.
But the impact you make in bringing people
in getting people involved, I think
All
that's
right.
what is important.
AbdulMumuni Abiola, thank you for your time on TVC Breakfast.
Thank you.
The late Kudirat Abiola, assassinated on June the 4th, 1996, during the regime of the late General Sani Abacha, was one of the wives of Chief MKO Abiola, the acclaimed winner of the June the 12th, 1993 election.
Well, her marriage to him is not the only reason for which she is remembered. She is recognized nationwide as a heroine of democracy, one who fought side by side with Abiola and paid the ultimate price for the struggle.
Today makes it exactly 23 years she was assassinated. Still, her name and memory lingers. 23 years after her death, there is a dearth of female leaders in the country.
Now, of the 109 senators that make up the Senate, only 7 women will be part of the 9th National Assembly. In like manner, the number of females elected into the 9th House of Representatives has also been a significant decline. Why is this so? These are the questions in the minds of so many Nigerians. Yeah. But joining us now is a public affairs analyst and former local government chairman of Amodofi local government, Ayodele Adewale. It's nice to have you join me right now.
Thank you for
You were one of those who shared in the struggle for democracy and fought for the same cause that Kudirat Abiola fought for. And when it comes to understanding what she stood for, you are also one of those who understand that because you're also close to the family. Talk to us, that woman, that icon of democracy, what was she really, what is she really known for, especially for the generation now that are coming to hear Kudirat Abiola who have never really met her?
Well, Kudirat is known for a very peaceful way. She was a very quiet woman, very generous, and very loyal to her husband and family. But again, in defense of what her husband believed in and what the Nigerian people wanted, she laid down her life. She laid down her life, not that she wanted to die, but some people decided to take the life of her and all of that. And if you link her to a lot of iconic women that have passed through history, particularly in our climb, like Queen Amina of Zaria, you have Margaret Ekpo, you have Funmilayo Ransome Kuti, and all of these people. Professor Jaisola Akode, you will see that they all have a very humble beginning, but as they are confronted with some certain issues, the societal task, is bestowed on them to actually pave way for people to have genuine solution to various questions.
Today is a day to commemorate the passing of Kudirat Abiola, but how well are people imbibing what she stood for and also celebrating her as a heroine or icon of democracy?
Well, people are gradually tending to understand that she stood for the democracy, she stood for truism, she stood for freedom, and that is why every 4th of June, people rally around, one, to commemorate her, give her the respect that she deserves, and also to bring up national discourse around her. Just as you have the killing of students in Tiananmen Square in China on the 4th of June, so we also have our own 4th of June in Nigeria. So it's not just to come and cry, pray for her, but of course to discuss issues that she stood for. And also she stood for the emancipation of the Nigerian women. And if you even look around now in civil society, we have fewer women, unlike before. We should thank God that we still have people like Joke Odumaki, Abiola Akeode Afolabi, and few of them. So it also bestowed on Nigerian women to stand up for their right. I mean, numerically, we have more women than men in Nigeria.
Yeah, Kudirat was one who had the guts and the mind and the heart to fight even to the end. In fact, she knew that, in fact, she raised alarm when it comes to the issue of threats to her life at different times, even before whatever happened. But she still confronted and went ahead. It didn't deter her at all. Which tells that even to the end, she was ready to pay the price, whatever it would take. If you liken that to females now in the struggle, how well do you think the women are ready to take up those kind of challenges?
The Nigerian women are very strong in terms of building the home and, of course, sourcing for economic gains for the family.
Yes.
They go all length. You see a lot of women in the marketplaces, daring all condition. You see them hawking food. You see them in the private sector doing very well. But we also would like them to use that strength to come into governance beyond economic gains, to push for their rights in government. No matter how excellent you are in other fields, I keep telling people that a single policy can change the narrative of time. And Abiola came to understand that beyond his philanthropism, that just giving money everywhere will not solve the problem. But a single policy in government will change the total narrative. And Kudirat also believed in that. That was why she supported her husband all the way, beyond the fact that she knew that one day she could die. And she kept on having that faith that it is not the longevity of time that you spend on earth that matter. It is what you do and how you do it.
All right. Thank you very much, Ayodele Adewale, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we wish her well wherever she is and whatever she stood for, as well as even the family. Thank you.
Yeah, and we thank you, the press, for continuing to launder.
We certainly will let the people know more. Thank you.